Hi guys, my name is Monica. Welcome to my YouTube channel. What I would like us to cover today is just nuggets of wisdom from one of my favorite books called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. The reason why I love this book is because it's so deep and profound, and it gives you a fresh perspective on a lot of things that we deal with in life. So yeah, that's what I would like us to cover today. It's based on an interview between the devil. Someone is interviewing the devil, and the person interviewing the devil is called Mr. Earthbound, someone who lives on Earth and is just curious to get the devil's perspective on some of the things that we go through with life. So it offers quite an interesting perspective, because the devil is maybe the least person you would think of getting advice from. So that's what made me be curious about it, and I learned a lot, and I'm eager to share that with you. So the book was written in 1938, but it wasn't published until 2011 because it was seemed very controversial by the friends, associates, and relatives of the writer known as Napoleon Hill. They didn't want him to publish back then because it would have brought a lot of controversy. So it was published in 2011. So, but the wisdom that he spoke on then still lives. You can apply it in today's life. It's just one of those books that stands the test of time. So I hope you're going to enjoy some of the things that I'm going to say, and maybe incorporate them in your life, because it's a good book and I highly recommend you go read it. Because of course I won't say everything that is written there, just what caught my attention and just I thought was worth sharing. So yeah, let's get into it. Thank you. The first thing that I would like us to talk about is the concept of the devil and the concept of God. Who's God and who's devil according to the devil? So he explains, I'll be referring to some of the notes I had written so that I don't skip out on anything. So he refers to the devil as a negative force in life, and he describes God as the positive energy force in life. So the devil gained control of the human consciousness, and the most effective tool that he uses to gain control of our consciousness is fear. So he controls the minds of men only because they neglect or refuse to control and use their own minds. So one of the most effective, not even one, 6 of the most effective fears that he uses are fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health, fear of loss of love, fear of old age, and fear of death. So I love how he describes the concept of God and the concept of the devil, because as growing up, how the devil and God were presented to us was something as these mythical creatures who had horns, and the other one had a halo, and they painted quite a picture of what God and the devil were. But as I grew up, I've had my challenges with Christianity and how it was presented to me. So as I was reading this book, and to see him describe God and the devil as energy forces as opposed to mythical creatures, I think it resonated more with me when I think about good and evil, because everything is energy, and everything has that energy vibration to it. So I think it makes more sense to me to think of God and the devil as energy forces. Yeah, so I don't know what you guys think about that. So the other thing that caught my attention as to how it was described, it's the way the devil describes sin. So he describes sin as anything one does or thinks which causes one to be unhappy. So I was comparing it with the way we were taught sin. We were taught sin as something that you do that you get punished for. And honestly, if I look between the two descriptions, which one is a better motivator for good behavior, I find the way it was described in this book particularly more to influence good behavior. Because when you threaten people and they get desensitized to the threats. And as human, we are prone to a lot of failures and a lot of sinning. And I think if you tell someone when they do something, it will lead to their misery, it's a better motivator than telling them that they'll get punished for it. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but I found that to be quite interesting. Yeah, so you tell me. So as I had mentioned before, there are very many things that Napoleon Hill talks about in this book, and I can't really get to go through the whole thing in one video. So kindly let me know in the comments if you would like me to do maybe a second video on this book, or even a third one. So maybe the parting shot that I will leave you with is what he talks about when it comes to our purpose, every individual's purpose. So he says the first duty of every human being is to himself. Every person owes himself the duty of finding to live a full and happy life. Beyond this, if one has time and energy not needed, not used in the fulfillment of his own desires, one may assume the responsibility for helping others. There is no higher duty than that which one owes himself. And that's one of the most powerful things I've ever read, because we live in a society which emphasizes, you fitting in order for you to, look a certain way, keeping up with appearances. And even in school, you're taught how to fit into the job market. You're not really taught how to use the skills that you are born with, your innate skills, your innate intelligence to make your life successful and happy. So I really believe in pursuing what you think is best for you, because at the end of the day, your happiness is not in other people's hands, it is in your hands. So you might be out there keeping up with appearances, doing the trendy stuff that you think is cool, or but at the end of the day, it just doesn't fit you, or it just doesn't feel right. So I really believe in just being a rebel and just doing you, and not caring about what other people think of what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, there's no one that will hold me accountable more than I'll hold myself accountable. I truly believe if I'm unhappy, if I'm miserable, then it is my fault, because I should have done what is best for me at any point. So I don't know about you guys. I would like to get feedback and whether you'd like a second video for this book, because it has a lot of nuggets of wisdom. So thank you for joining me, and yeah, have a good morning, afternoon, evening. Yeah, thanks.